Good morning. Hello. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Matt. So, yes, good morning. Welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. It is the season one finale. Uh, I wasn't sure when I was trying to plan this out, which was a terrible thing of planning. I ended up not really doing so well planning a final show because I actually I thought it was going to be a little bit further. I thought it was going to be like another week or two out, but then I realized that the my schedule was a little bit more changed than I thought. Um, so it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. That's for sure. But yes. So thank you so much for being here. Um, as I'm going to be fooling around a little bit. Hey, good morning, Nicole. 1 second. I'm just kind of playing with things. I didn't say I wasn't ready. There's something, it's interesting is that I um there's a lot of, there's things that uh you know how I guess it'll be kind of fun because I guess I can kind of do a little bit of a recap because I didn't have like it's weird is I didn't have a ton of things. Hey, good morning, Carmen, Dennis. Hey, James or Jim. I see your real original name, but it's usually Jim, so I apologize. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I want it to be a little bit brighter. There's actually subliminal things, not that they're really in the picture, but there's some reasons for the background today. Um, but that's kind of cool. But I kind of leave a lot of times. It's fun. Well, okay, this will be the idea. Let's do this because, like I said, I didn't have a ton of plans as to this, and I'm sorry I'm looking away from you guys right at the moment. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to. Good morning, Debbie. I'm trying to do a couple things at the same time, and there's the reason why I'm kind of scattered right at the moment is because I've was an interesting morning. Good morning, Nancy. Um, I've been all over the place with things, and I'm kind of like it's kind of wild of what's happening right at the moment, but that's okay. You got to make the best out of everything, and so um, that is what I'm doing. So I'm looking for something real quick. Is this the right one? No, it's not. Oh, wonderful. So I can't find it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I'll make it work out. So, so let me talk about a couple of things that are a little bit shorter, and then we'll kind of get into some other stuff. Um, so one, I guess the real short thing is which will kind of segue into a little bit too. But I did post about the fact that I will not be on next weekend. There's a big reason for that. So if you didn't see the post for at least this morning show, uh, it's working out to where um, I'm going to be back on set finishing up the movie Never Blink. So you guys knew that I took a couple weeks off um, back in like March, April time. So uh, that is resuming. We're finishing up literally the last couple shots of the movie. So that's super exciting. So I can't wait. And I'm just so thrilled that I was able to get the time off of work and that I was able to, you know, being allowed to come back too, because I mean, obviously things can happen and they could hate your guts and not want you to see your face ever again. I'm kidding. I, I can't imagine that I was that horrible that they wouldn't want me to come back, but I'm kind of giving Chris and Phil a hard time right now because I can because they're my buds, and so I got to give them a little bit of lack of a better word, a dirty, bad word. So, but I'm having fun with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited. I mean, I'm, it's very rare for me to not, when I get involved in something, not to finish it. Obviously there's always factors and things like that. And, I just, try to commit, even if it's not the greatest, or even if it's, there's all kinds of issues, I still try to get through it and, still do it with a smile and still do my best. So that way, you know, anybody that really stops and looks at it could be like, hey, he really put a lot of effort into it, and it's well received and well noted. So I try to do what I can and work my butt off to hopefully make the project, come to life, even if it's small. I mean, I don't try to shoot big on everything. I always try to keep my, expectations very low because, we've done that as a society and as a culture, as far as the human race goes, is we put a lot of high expectations, and then when it doesn't happen, we just seem to go into depression and we just go down these paths that, of negativity really, and what's the point of that, And that's not what we should be doing, I mean, like, it's one thing to have an expectation, like, but it's another to be like, you know, it's going to be, the greatest thing of all time, what I mean? The GOAT, so to speak, but, um, I do. I mean, it's when I do a lot of my hey, good morning, Janet. When I do a lot of my readings or I do healings and things like that, I always tell my clients that, and some of you are, I always say, we're gonna start small, and if something big comes of it or something dramatic, for the better of it, obviously, but something big happens and major, then we're all, then we can be like, oh, that was awesome, I didn't expect something to be like that. Good morning, Cindy. So I'm just been that way because, I think we've all gone through where we're expecting something gigantic and then it doesn't happen. And then we're just all depressed and we're just moping around. And like now you're wasting all this time and hours. And it's like, what? So I, uh, I'm like that. And so just like this movie, I'm just trying to do what I can, help out where I can, not be a problem and, just get through it. So I mean, I'm not, the job's the job. We're having fun at it. Obviously we had 2 weeks of fun, and it was hard work and things, but at the same time, I'm just want to, dig my feet in and help get it to completion, and let the rest fall as it is, and so that's exciting. So that's one of the cool things about this movie and everything. It's um been awesome, you know what I mean? And so I can't wait to get the last couple days in. So thanks, Nancy. I won't. But I so that's gonna be cool. So just keep that in mind. So and I'll remind you guys at the end of the show, there will not be a show next Saturday because I will still be on set. That'll be roughly the final day of shooting. So we uh um I'm gonna be busy, so I don't even know what time it'll be. Hopefully we won't get too off on the days, because we start, so Wednesday's load in slash setup, and then starting Thursday is when we start shooting early. So obviously I don't have the film schedule that they're working on that. And but that's roughly where I was last informed, was we'll start early Thursday. So good. But we'll shoot our tails off for a couple, 2-3 days, and then hopefully that will wrap it up, and we'll get that last few scenes in the cans, and Phil and Chris will get that bad boy edited down, which they've been doing. That's the other cool thing, is they've really spent the time. They just didn't let it sit there, and so I'm glad that they've got it, well put together so far. And Christopher's been putting, a lot of the soundtrack together. And if you guys are on his page, you guys will probably have seen or heard clips of things that are, got a good chance that'll be in the movie. So, which is beautiful. I mean, some of them are fantastic. Just hearing you know, rough edits of the music so far. So, hey, good morning, Rebecca. And so yeah, that's going to be awesome, and can't wait to see when it's all over. So hopefully time frame's still holding, so they're still saying October. We'll keep our fingers crossed that it will happen. So, and Debbie, you are correct. I mean, I probably got to put that even up on the screen because it's so important. Um, it is true. It is true. The fogger, the fogger guy will be back at it, um, full full stream. Which is cool. Hey, you get to be involved in, you know, there's only maybe a couple scenes that I did not do fog in, and that's okay. I mean, some of it, just didn't work out, or I know there was one point I talked about that we broke into 2 units, and so we were, filming some stuff and doing some B-roll stuff, and then, the other unit was still filming, you with the actors and things, so, uh, even though I'm excited to, and I'm hoping the stuff I did on the 2nd unit the one day shows up in the movie because I had a lot of fun doing it. And if it happens, I mean, I'm gonna be like a little kid in a candy store laughing my tail off. So, but so, but so anyway, that's enough about the movie and stuff. So I'll be doing that. I'll try to do my best to, still get some more photos and things like that. Obviously, there's certain things I can't, show or talk about, but I'll definitely get some photos. And we'll see if the place that we were at, because we're filming in a different place, different city, in fact. So it's not local for me. uh, we'll see. I'll keep my eyes and ears and senses open to see if this place is spooky or haunted as well. So there'll be another show for you, you guys. So yes, again, no show next week because I will be on set, but at the same time, it was a perfect way to kind of end season one. So what else was I going to say? Because I lost my notes, and that was what's killing me right now. Let me see if it's over here. I'm going to look one more time real fast if the internet decides to play games. But I hope and while I'm peeking real quick, hopefully you guys are, having a um yeah, let's see. Okay, nope, yep, we're good. So hopefully you guys have had a great week. I know one thing I wanted to talk about briefly before we kind of get into something else that might take up the rest of the time. We'll see. Well, a couple things. I was Oh my gosh. Talk about a squirrel moment. I just completely lost track of mine. How about that one? I'll have some coffee instead. Sorry, my head is not like this morning, started off pretty good, got some sleep. I actually was like, great. I got up just before 7, which was fantastic for me. Because normally I'm up hours before that, but I was pretty excited about it. So I uh got up and was doing my things, and then about 8 o'clock or so I start getting ready for the show. I start putting up things and getting lights situated, and that sort of thing. And while I was setting up here at my desk, I noticed some personal items were missing, and I was starting to get pretty panicky. I started getting a little shocked, and um even some anger started coming out. All right, Rebecca, you have a good one. Love you too. And I had some personal items that mean a lot to me. Um, and I'm not going to get into what they are, but they became missing, and it's not in a spiritual thing. It's not like they were picked up by something and moved. They were picked up by a certain person in my home, and I can't find them. And so they are pretty personal, and it really kind of got me flustered this morning and got me off track, got me off of what I was, got me off of a routine. And I tried to look a little bit, but not everybody's awake yet, so I'm like, can't go digging around and going to all kinds of different rooms looking for this. So I was trying to keep it together and stuff. And this is something which is interesting because this is why I'm sharing it. uh because we all have these moments where you're in the middle of something that's major. I mean, they're personal in the sense that they have a lot of history to them. And it's for me personally, that's the thing, is they mean a lot to me. um it's not the end of the world, of course. Hey, good morning, Tim. But it's something that they sit here next to my laptop. They've been here for years. And so to not see them sitting where, like me looking over here and not seeing them there, really, it hurts. It's one of those rare moments that you'll probably see me like just all off. All right, Tim, you have a good one. Be safe out there. Have a good one, buddy. We'll see you soon, man. Um, but yeah, so like I said, looking over here and not seeing them, it just It's crushing me, and it does hurt. It hurts a lot, and, um, you know, I'm just gonna do the best I can to just keep it together, which is, one good reason why it's fun to, talk to you guys, and you can kinda still see I'm trying to smile and get through things and still, you know, have a show because this is like, the ending of, the first season, and it's crazy to go all this stuff and then things aren't there. And so it's a weird ending of things to do, but there's a lot of times that when I'm coming up with these morning shows, I try to find what's been going on during the week, whether it's personally or what I'm seeing out in the world, and then I like to bring it up because a lot of times it's fresh in our minds, and it's not something that I even have to go and do a ton of research on either, which is cool. Not that, picking a topic and then that's the topic for the entire hour or so is bad, you know what I mean? But I like finding these things, which is, the whole point of a morning show is just like you would see, on your local news. A lot of Saturday morning shows, they just have various things, coming at you, and they're just kind of what's been going on or what's coming up, and I like that, and so it's kind of like where I sort of took the idea of this show was to be able to just kind of sit around and just have a bunch of different things, and whether they were relatable to all of you or were they or was just something interesting to listen to, and hear experiences or hear suggestions and tips, like we've done for this last year. And that's why I love this morning show. It's just so much fun for me, and to be able to kind of say what's on my mind in a way, but at the same time still pop into things that we all are involved with, uh so hopefully this past year, which obviously started right, and Debbie, that is true, that is one of the things is going on, and I'll kind of briefly touch that real quick too. um that the um the show started off being just basically every other week, 2 times a month, and it wasn't meant to it was just meant to kind of do something a little different, and um have some fun and be in the morning, because there really isn't any other paranormal or holistic, spiritual, metaphysical type of morning shows. I mean, um there has been, I do have know of one other show, but it was um just more of an informative thing, which was cool. I just, like the idea of having some other morning shows out there, and I think that's why this one kind of came about, because I thought about it for literally most of last year, up until, when I think it was just before the summer, might have been like May or June, then I was like, man, I wonder if I can do some sort of morning show that would pop in there, say a few things, and just whether it was 15 minutes long or an hour long, and then as we got through, once I got started, it became a lot, it became really fun for me. And then we got to started getting into the holidays, and obviously we were all still dealing with well, thank you, Debbie. um, we, we started having, as a world, as the human race has been struggling with certain things that have been going on out there. Uh, we, December, when I just could feel the energies for everything and all the stress that was going on, I'm like, I think it'd be great. I had, the availability to do it, and so I felt like, all of December, and even as I wanted all of December to have a show every week, Saturday, and I wanted to kind of get together, whether you guys are watching it live, or if you're listening or watching this back at a later time when when it's convenient for you, and to see the reaction, and to get the feedback from you guys, and then to um see how much more I enjoyed doing it weekly. It was just one of those things. And so as we got in, I think I remember that last show before Christmas or whatever, however it rolled last year. But I remember being like, you know what, I think we'll do the, well, we'll get into January, we'll still keep going. And I kept thinking, oh, I'll do another episode or two, in a row. And then it just became too addicting for me to not, have to pause again. And so, we went several more months where it was just every week and still, having great time. And then, the movie came up, which was weird because when that movie started, I didn't think about it at first, but I didn't realize I was going to lose 2 weeks in a row. And I was like, oh my gosh, and it was so weird. It felt so empty, not doing the morning show for a couple weeks in a row. And so I'm glad a lot of you stuck around and still were following me and checking out my post, because I still try to get as several in a week as I can. And yep, thank you, Margaret. It is part of a ritual on Saturday morning. Thank you, Nicole. That's awesome. Yeah, me too, as I keep saying. And it's and like I said, the movie happened, and it's weird because it's like I segued, from doing this to then focusing on that, and then as soon as I could, I mean, I think I did a special. I don't know if it was Sunday or if it was Monday night after the movie. I think it was. I did a follow up show because I just knew I had to get back to you guys. I wanted to share the freshest thoughts on it, everything, and how it all went. You know whether it applies to you at all. Because obviously, I try to keep some of the topics and things of what's going on. I mean, this is the point of my medium thing anyway, but how could you not share some cool things that are going on? But, even during the filming, there was paranormal activities, there was a lot of energy stuff going on. So, it did mesh well together, which was cool. And so that was things I got to share. It just the movie aspect of doing that, was able to kind of blend it together and things. So so if there's opportunities where I can kind of not bore you guys with, real true personal things that have nothing to do with, again, holistic, spiritual, metaphysical, paranormal things, I mean, if I can blend it to where it makes sense, I'll do that. But, I'm not going to sit there and talk about, um, you know, all the things going on, personally with me, I mean, I want to try to keep it always centralized to, just so much and not bore you guys, um, because like I said, I get it, I mean, I wouldn't want to be hearing every single thing that might not pertain to the person that you guys are watching right now. And so I try to do my best, what I mean? But I'm still having fun. And even if only one other person watched it, or, even then, well, I probably wouldn't do it if I didn't have anybody watching it, at least one viewer, but I will, if I always at least have one viewer, then I will, I'll keep rolling with this, but, so it is a huge thanks to all of you. I mean, to see where it's been, where it started from and to where it is now and how far it's come. And it's just been amazing. And you guys have been a huge part of that. And like I said, it kind of keeps me motivated to want to keep showing up every week because you guys seem to enjoy it. And again, we get to get together like this, even if it's just you seeing and hearing me, but I get to see your comments and, we're just hanging out in the morning and just kind of shooting the breeze and talk about a lot of things that are going on with us and how it all affects us and maybe how to handle it and how to open things up. I mean, there's so many cool things that we can still get into and so many more things that are going to happen, and so interesting enough, while I pause for just a second, uh, this week, I was probably the first week that I didn't have any true other strange things going on with me. I didn't have the the dizziness or the uh you know energy things going way up. I mean, I was kind of blown away that for the first time in a long time that I was, you know, I was sitting the last 2, 3 days, I've been thinking, I'm going, I really haven't had any issues this week. Like every week, I've had a day or two that just have, completely taken me out or floored me in a way that where, something going on universally, what I mean? Something in the stars is happening. And this week I finally felt amazing that it was quiet, in which I think is why it even led to me not really having a whole lot of set topics, because I kept relying on a lot of that's been going on. And that's why I didn't post really anything about like, hey, are you guys going through this? But I wasn't. So I was like, not that you guys probably, might have had some days too, But that's what's fascinating is when we all do have things and we can kind of come together and talk about it and things. But for me, I didn't. And so it was like kind of refreshing in a way to take a break and not be, hounded by things and be wondering what's going on out there. Cause like, Jen, one of my good friends, and I'll hit her up. She goes, I'm like, what's going on out there? See, get her take on if she's heard anything or seen, some of um the the charts and things of what, are we getting hit by something, so I just kind of blown away by it sometimes, but yeah, this was, I think, truly the first week in at least a good month or two that I just didn't have anything going on. So I'm like, whew, I forgot what this feels like. But I kind of felt lost too at the same time. So just to catch up. Yep. Jen, absolutely. Interaction with viewers is definitely a fun part. And then Margaret, especially with all the weird energies going on. Yep. Yep. Like I was just saying, Debbie, you're always doing that. I missed the last 2 weeks. I was going through. Oh, well, thanks, Debbie. um, so, but yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and kind of segueing back into the whole show thing. I want to, since it's been basically a full year. I want to get in. I want to do, granted, I'm not, I don't have the amount of time for it and things, but I'm going to be trying to get like some better graphics and things like that. I mean, you guys know you know, it's not my logo, but it's kind of the show logo kind of thing. So, um, if I show you guys this real quick, and this is just the basic, this is the very first thing I ever came up with. Um, So you guys, this was the first thing I ever came up, and it is crude as all get out. I don't have a program that allows me to, do fancy editing and stuff like this. And I just found a free photo because I like the idea of the coffee because I'm a coffee drinker. And the only thing I could do, is just real basic stuff. So I mean, you put boxes up here, you know, and you put boxes up there and you just kind of type it in there. I kind of made sure that they stood out and things. So I'm doing the basics of basic, graphics. And it looks horrible to me, but it I needed something. And so I'd like to do some better stuff. And um my sister-in-law does graphics. She has a degree in it and stuff. And so I want to touch base with her and work some things out, maybe make this a little bit better. It's not going to happen instantly. I put that in a post this week is, there's some cool changes I want to do. Some things I've been thinking about. I just haven't had the time to initiate them, but I would like to do something better, whether it's a different image or of sorts, but I would like to have things a little bit more neat and not so like generic and corny. But so that's one of the plans is just kind of do a better logo graphic for the show itself. And so that should stop or that should start, hopefully soon. I haven't even really sat down and kind of crashed, done a big kind of dumping all the ideas out. And so I'll have some opportunities to do that with my sister-in-law and see what we can come up with and things. And Jen, what did you say? There's some solar activity. Okay, let's see what she's got here. There's some solar activity that we will feel in the next day or so. Go watch the suspicious observers on YouTube and get their disaster prediction at. And the new moon tomorrow. So I feel as though this is the calm before the holy blank. Yeah, yeah, that's true. And that's maybe why I haven't been noticing anything because everything's been kind of like quiet. And she's right. I mean, every morning when I'm driving into work and we've had perfect weather in the morning, I've been watching the moon get smaller and smaller, as far as getting ready for the new moon. So I knew that was on the way. I didn't know which day it was, but I knew it was on the way. So thank you, Jen, for sharing that. So yeah, we'll obviously be cautious of that. So next couple days, be ready just in case you guys notice anything. So thank you again, Jen, for sharing that. There's some other cool things that I would like to do for the show. Most of you that catch it right away in the beginning, I've been trying to do a little bit more just by recommendations from others that have been doing things. I'd like to do some sort of a cool intro And the because StreamYard, who is the program I use to do these broadcasts, and they have a 30-second countdown, and so uh, um, recommendations from them and things like that have always been put up a graphic type of thing like you guys see with the coffee cup and then and the names, um, and then you finally kind of include that into the countdown and things, and so I'd like to come up with my own personal intro. Tim Shaw, who was on a little while ago, he's obviously on the road at the moment, but he's got a great intro thing, and it make I'm jealous of it. I'd love to do that. um so hopefully it's another thing I'd like to do. Again, not even close to even haven't even sat down because there's one key individual that I want to work with on that, and that's even if he's available. So and he would be, in my opinion, critical for it, but I would be forever grateful if he'd be willing to help, even if I have to pay him you know a crap ton of money to do it. It'll still be worth it. But I'd like to do an intro and be a little bit longer than 30 seconds, because even though the idea is not to excuse me, drag out the whole show, but a lot of you're still getting your drinks, or maybe you're finishing up, or eating, or whatever you're doing, and so sometimes everybody's coming in super late, because you notice, you watch any live show, everybody sits around for 2-3 minutes with waiting for people to join in, and so I want to do something that's just a shade longer than 30 seconds to give people more time to get in there before, because sometimes I start right out of the gate. We start with things that are going on, so especially if it's something you guys are interested in, or something you wanted to comment in on. So I want to make sure that I give enough time for everybody to jump in, and get to be there with me and stuff, which happens and even all the major shows that go on. I mean, and I'm not talking even live like this, I'm talking just on TV and things. Is there's always a quick intro to things, and uh, kind of gets you everybody set and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to come up with some things during season 2, but I will we'll see what we can do. And like I said, I got some big goals for it. I mean, they might not be big for everything, but at least for me, that it would kind of be I feel like I'm getting more involved into things, and try to do, because I mean, I do love the production side of stuff. Because I am a behind the scenes kind of guy. It's not always being in front. I do love this stuff. I love, even though I can't do a lot of it, I can't do graphics and things, but I'm fascinated by it. And so that'll be kind of fun to do. And Debbie, yes, doing math. I know I screwed Debbie up this morning, because at 8:44 I posted, "Hey guys, I'm going to be on in 45 minutes." And then by the time she saw it, it was already closer to 8. So then she's joking with me in a message. She's like, "Yeah, but if you're doing this to get you to here, and then this is like after the show," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I posted it here. You got to see when I posted it, which makes it more sense." So, so that was a hilarious thing with Debbie this morning. Yeah, Nancy. Hopefully, I didn't put him to sleep. Hopefully, I'm not that boring. uh, but yeah. Oh my gosh. I was kind of curious, because, like I said, I didn't really have a lot completely stacked. Like I wish I would have known. Like, obviously, uh, I gotta probably sit down and do a little bit more thinking and stuff. But like on things like this, where it's like a final show, or like maybe the return show, the return to season 2, um, to come back up and do something kind of more fun or something like that. I mean, I'm going to take next week to think about it, and then obviously let you guys know what I might do for to open it up for season 2. And um because even sitting here now, I've got a few things that are just kind of bouncing around. I'm like, I wonder if they'd be into that. So I'll kick around a few ideas, and maybe throw a couple feelers out there to certain people that are regulars to the morning show. Thank you. And get their take on it. Um, and then obviously there's some other cool things. I mean, we had, Bonnie on last week, and we were talking about, trying to do like some other big events, maybe not necessarily in the morning, but it'd be at some other point, whether it's during the week or on a weekend, pending schedules. But we want to talk about doing shadow work and trying to do like sort of a live session, so you guys can see what's going on during one of those. So that's definitely gonna. I'm still keeping that one on there, in the back burner. So that's a good chance that it'll be involved, on my channel at some point. But again, there's a lot of things going on, so we're kind of playing it out, feeling it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, she was Debbie. She was awesome. And but yeah, that'll be kind of cool. So I mean, uh, and again, you know, guest wise and things like that, I'm not. It's not always completely set and designed for somebody to come on. I kind of just play it out. I kind of see how things are going, and um, because again, this is early, and not everybody's awake this early in the morning, or some people just don't want to be on a show so early. So those that I have had on, I appreciate the fact that they are morning people of some sort, and they are. Willing to, get dressed up because obviously I've had, like Jen's been on the show and, I get it that sometimes you don't wanna sit there and get completely ready because I know you ladies like to kinda spruce things up and things. So I get that, and so um I don't want to inconvenience people but that's just my caring heart, because I love, the people I have on and the ones that have been on and and so I don't want to overdo it, and be like, God, why is he got to make this do it so early? Hey Rodney, good morning. So so I do appreciate it because, there's some people I'd have on a lot more frequently if I didn't feel, my caring side didn't come out a little bit more. I'd make them, show up more often. And so I'm kind of careful that I don't overdo it. I want, once in a while, I know they'll work it out for me, but I don't want to do it too often and them hate me then. Yeah, I hear you, Jen. uh, but see, but that's like that was my whole concept too, is that we'd all get together regardless. Because even then, I see, I could have gotten all fancy. I could have showered, I could have cut my hair down, had it dried. I didn't even straighten the beard today. That's how, like, I'm sitting there thinking this is like the very first show again, even though I wore a hat the first few times because I didn't want all this, looking all crazy and stuff. But um, I still wanted to have that kind of rough look. Like, here it is. We're all sitting around like we all are doing right now. You guys are all sitting in your homes and apartments and things, and we're just kind of all in rough shape. We got bags under our eyes, and we're like killing the coffees and teas and other drinks and munching and stuff in our faces. That reminds me, I didn't even eat this morning. Great. See, I was all flustered with the personal items disappearing that I forgot to even eat. See how that does it? You just kind of get your mind all over the place. Debbie, my beard grooming takes long. If I had to guess, if I had to guess how long it takes to run the ironish brush, the beard brush through it, um, gosh, I want to say, I mean, it takes about 30 seconds to heat up, and then see, it depends on how crazy it is. If it's really wacky, like so there's I've I found a trick because I have to wear masks still at work, and I found a trick where I'm able to now put the mask right on the edge of my chin instead of underneath it. So I don't have the COVID beard as I used to always call it, where it's this distinct line right here, which you could still see a little bit, but it would I got it to where the mask sits right here and it doesn't press in so much. So I don't have this thing. So that's why I didn't feel like I had to straighten it so much. But on average, I'd say probably, you know, 2, 3 minutes. You know what I mean? I do probably, and I got to go slow, obviously. You ladies, and you've ever curled your hair, you kind of know the drill. I don't have to, I don't have to enlighten you on that one. But, uh, especially when when you're getting all dialed up for something fancy to go to, you know. but uh but yeah, same thing is I kind of have to hold it and then pull, go down real slowly so that way it hits everything. And I'd probably say like, 2, 3, 4 minutes or so, just depending on how bad it is. especially when I had the coat. Well, like, Debbie saying COVID dip. I always like COVID beard, but um, that was always the tough part is up here is getting it all straight. So, um, but anyway, but that's the whole thing is I as we go off tangent and things, but that's what's kind of fun is I can make sure I want to interact with you guys live. But by the way, it's 10:10. Anybody looking for numbers? It's 10:10. 10:10. See, look at your clocks. 10:10. Oh, now 10:11. Now we're in sequence here. 10:10, 10:11. Hmm. Did you get that, Jen? Did you get it? Sorry. Remember, Jen and I have a thing, if you guys remember, we was talking about before we do the numerology thing where we got the sequences of numbers. And so I just looked up. I was like, oh, I wonder what time I'm at. And I'm like, oh, it's 10:10. And then I'm like, I'm mentioning it and I look up and then it switches to 10:11. I'm like, perfect. So you guys can look those numbers up. They mean something. But um anyway, yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, Charity, how are you? I've been seeing numbers all week. Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you are. I know we've talked offline a little bit, so hopefully, yeah, it's just a phase. We all go through it. So, you just got to keep hanging in there. But if you don't know what the numbers are, make sure you look them up. Look them up. Make sure you're, seeing what the messages are. Cause I know there's so many, I mean, everything's got a meaning to it. So it's like, I don't have them memorized. I always have to use the cheat sheet and pull them up and type in the number and see what it is. So, um, but, gosh, so, but like I said, when kind of wrapping up the whole season two, sort of thing. But yeah, we'll see what type of guest there is. I know I've had some people reach out and that they've been kind of curious of if they can come on the show. And I'm like, well, it is early, what I mean? you know, I sometimes that, throws people off because it's not, when I get done with the show, I take the audio version of it and I put it over to a podcast format. So that way there's just some that, can't see it, but they can play it, and whether they're in their cars or if they're at work, they can just kind of put their headphones on and still hear everything. Cause obviously there's not a lot of things to see, um, but for the most part, there is those opportunities. I wanted to make sure everybody had that opportunity to, um, if they wanted to catch it and not miss it, then it works out for them. So that way, they have it in a couple different formats. So, because I get it, because obviously you can't, if you're on your cell phones and things like that, you got to keep the video running because if you, hit the power button to kind of shut that off, it kills it stops the video. But so yeah, so I mean, but always keep that in mind, I mean, obviously, you can always still watch this back. It's always there. They're all there. And you could just always go to the Adam the Black Swamp Medium page and you can always click on videos and then you can actually find what's going on. I guess I should ask this too, if you guys would be interested, and because again, it with the being the morning show, I just basically put the name of it and the date of it. Would you guys, hey, good morning, Donna. Would you guys be interested if I put maybe some of the topics in the title of it, or do you just like the idea of it staying with mid-morning medium chat and then the actual date that it's going to air on? Because I know but see, I know if I go any longer than that, it's going to start getting stretched, and you might not see some of it because sometimes they only abbreviate so much on some of the posts and things, so it might be too much. So that might, I don't know, that's kind of where I'm sitting there thinking, but it'd be hard for me to try to include everything in the title of it, especially if it's a couple things, um so we'll see, like I said, that's just something, or get, like I said, get your Janet surprises, that's well, that's the thing is, I guess, for those of us that try to do some marketing things, not that I'm very good at it, but yeah, the point when you guys see when I do post, whether it's earlier in the week or closer to the end of the week, when I do the show and it pops up, you guys have an opportunity to hit interested because then it'll notify you when as soon as I go live at 9:30, your notification will light up saying, hey, he's live, but at the same time, it gives you an opportunity to click on it. And yes, I'm using the same verbiage for, in the beginning, the first paragraph or two, but then I kind of put down in the middle towards the end, what some of the things I may be talking about, or what things, or a little bit of a guest, if a guest is going to be on, a little bit of their bio and things in there. So um it is an opportunity for you guys to click on it, give you guys some more time in my, on the announcement of the show and stuff. So um it is meant for you guys to click on it, but so if you didn't know that, it's definitely start checking that out. Open the post up and scroll down a little bit. You'll see that I usually put in a few things if I can. Or I'll even say, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but we're going to do something, but I see a lot of you saying surprises and stuff. So yeah, I will. Like I said, I try to keep some things as simple as possible. But at the same time, not get crazy, but I think that's kind of cool. I mean, I do like having the name and then the date, because it's, it is what it is, as far as it doesn't get any more simple than that. And then, the basic description, and then some of the topics or guest that's gonna, possibly be spoken of that week. So I will keep at that, and you guys can just kind of wait and see whether you check it out, or you're just going to show up Saturday morning and here you are, and you're like, "Gee, I have no idea what he's talking about," you know. But yeah, cool, cool. Well, I appreciate that. Let's see. All right, 10:16 on my clock. I'm trying to think what other things would might be interesting for you guys, or even then, you know, I know, like I said, sometimes it's hard in the morning to be focused and awake and things like that. Are you guys at all interested in, I've always asked, and some people have, some people haven't, but is there some, other things that you guys would like to know, whether you put that in, in the show, in the comments now, or you want to hit me up privately. Is there any specific topics that, have been burning on your mind? I mean, every week is meant to be open as well. So that way, if you had something going on or something crossed your mind this week, you certainly can throw it in the chat. Now, obviously, we've had some people come on and be like, "Hey, give me a reading." And it's like, well, that's not what the morning show's for. Doesn't mean that I won't give you guys, like a group reading, as far as here's the card for all of you today, or here's, this, or, but uh the morning show, I don't really ever want to do that to where that is, gonna then be maybe, an expectation. So the morning show really is just for us to kind of sit and talk. I don't always want to do that, but like I said, I don't have a problem with doing one card for all of you that are watching live, to where to really reflect on all of you. But I don't want to, make the morning show a specific, you know, you hey, 'cause I don't want people to come in and be like, "Is it a reading show? Is it a reading show?" Well, no, I want to make sure that the morning show is the morning show and a reading show is a reading show. So I want to be very specific on that. So always know that, you'll see that, because and I have, and this month at some point I'm going to find another good date to do another live reading show, and that way we can uh, you know do that again. So I know there's a few weekends, like obviously this coming weekend is going to be pretty bad for me, so I will be non-existent. But there's a good chance the last couple weekends of August, there's some opportunities, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, but I'll probably do some afternoon, an afternoon one. I also do recognize that I only did the one last month and didn't have the surprise one that I spoke of. Uh, I'm going to try to do that this month, knowing what my schedule's kind of like. But I'm going to probably go back on some of my wording and be like, I'm going to at least still try to have one that you guys always know about. Um, I might have overshot in thinking that I'd be able to squeak one in there, because then things have happened. We've all gone through some of the energetic things that have happened. And so I've been down. I've had to push and postpone readings like crazy for a lot of you. And I hate doing that. It sucks, but at the same time, I mean, I know all of you that are watching or listening back, know that we all go through things, whether it's personal, whether it's all that stuff. And so there's time where I need downtime. I need to heal, mentally, maybe physically. And so, if you guys ever see me, drop out, or it's dragging on, just know that, I'm not going to sit there and spill all the beans. So if it seems like it's like, man, he's really taking a long time. Yeah, I could be going through something. I'm just not going to be too vocal about it. And so, uh, always know that, my heart, my intentions are always there. But I'm also going to always be a little bit more receptive of how I'm doing. Because obviously if I don't watch myself, and it happens still, I go down for, longer, and then I really feel like I'm disconnecting and you know, not being involved anymore. And I don't want to sit there and drag it out is any more than I need to. I want to recover, I want to heal, whatever the case is, but I don't want to sit there and make you guys, kind of lose interest and things like that. Because I mean, like I said, I like being here. I like doing this. There's so many things I want to do. And so, I keep throwing it out there just to be open about it, as far as I can, and get you guys excited, for the opportunities that can come up and will happen. So I feel bad when I feel like I keep, sounding like a broken record, and I say it over and over again, especially on something so cool, and then I'm like, dang, what's wrong, but that's my thing, is like sometimes I shoot a little too far ahead, and I try not to. There's a lot of things I don't. There's tons of things I don't talk about, and I keep it because I don't want that to happen. But then sometimes, oh, I'm gonna try to do more reading shows, and then it's like I screw myself, and then I'm only down to one. So I'm gonna try to do a lot better job with that. But then again, but I'm learning. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna stop learning. So, what did you say? Okay, gotcha, Janet. Yeah, we'll do something. Sometimes are the best shows. They are. They are indeed. Thank you, Janet. Debbie, free range learning and entertaining is all good. Yep. Charity, I have a question. Throw that up there. I have a question. When you do an investigation at a place, and there are all kind of a lot of people trying to investigate also, do you feel you don't get as much evidence as you would in a smaller group? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, um, you know, Charity, I know you do mediumship as well. So sometimes it's kind of cool because the mediumship doesn't necessarily need the it doesn't matter if you have contamination from people's, chatting, down the hallway or in the next room or on a different floor, and you can hear everybody walking. A lot of times the mediumship is still going to happen. It's the people that are trying to use the equipment, So I mean, if you're taking equipment with you, uh, and use the equipment alongside of the mediumship, uh, you know, you it can obviously get affected. So that's why in some way I've stepped away from doing the filming and audio recording of investigations for me. Uh I've relied on certain pieces of equipment and then the mediumship. And because one, I don't really have a lot of time to go back over the video and audio footage. I just don't. I mean, it's rare to have a lot of time to be sitting down and putting headphones on, and or watching a screen. I just don't have the amount of time, especially when you can have several hours of stuff. And even though I love to do that, I love audio. Audio is my degree. Um, I just don't have the amount of time to do that anymore. But I would say, you know, still go on, still do the mediumship stuff, trust in yourself, and the spirits are going to come up to you, obviously, unless, some of the others are kind of being jerks. They might have some issues with that and run or hide, so to speak. I've seen that, where you get people that they're screwing off and things like that and not being serious, and then they're gone and you just can't get them. You can feel they're there, you can get their energies, but you just can't get that interaction, that back and forth that we as mediums do well at. So, but yeah, never let it get to you, other than if you're trying to do, audio and film, because obviously that the audio is probably the worst out of everything, even though it's important in investigations. But that's what's cool, is if you can have others with you. So that's like, I mean, I love the team. I love SWPI. I don't know if Donna's still watching. Donna's our founder, and so the we got everybody that likes certain pieces of equipment, and it's great when we're all together and we're all investigating, even if we're just hosting our events at the old mill. Everybody brings their equipment with them, that whether we get to kind of do a little side investigation there or we're with some of the guests. It's great to just kind of have that stuff, and somebody's going to have something different, which is another great thing about being on a team, is that we all love different pieces of equipment. And so that person who's dedicated to like a recorder, they're going to be listening to her. One that's dedicated to filming, they're going to be watching the film. So I love being on SWPI, and I love the fact that we all focus on things, and that's what's great, is because then that team comes together. We can all then come together in our group chat saying, hey, you know this is what I got, and this is what I heard, and this is what I saw, and we all put that together, and it has this big it's this finished product. So I love that. Um, so if you got other people with you, do the best you can. If it is sort of like one of these big public hunts and stuff like that, like at our place, we try to tell people to be respectful. If you see somebody in the room, if they were there first, give them the space. If you want to, if they're okay with it, you can always ask, hey, can I at least listen? I mean, I won't bother you, but I just was curious. And so, sometimes you get people that'll be nice enough to let you come in the room too and listen and stuff. But, there's a lot of respect that, which is, I think key in anything, this respect for everybody and what they're doing, and especially in an investigation. So, all right. Yep. Let's see, Debbie. I think people that follow you are very sensitive and accepting at your needing to. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just a fact. The more you do what I do and others like me do, and you know, it, it it's weird because you get into situations where it's like you're doing the work, and you're, especially investigations, you're talking to different spirits, you're trying to get all this information and really put this bigger picture together. And you get tired from it, and it does. I mean, I've talked about it many times. Sometimes we have the next day as a paranormal hangover. No drinking involved, but you're just wiped. Your energy's wiped. You've been up for a lot longer, and me getting up as early as I do for work, that factors in. So I mean, I've kind of got a double whammy. So my hangover is bad sometimes. And so, if it's a Friday night, most of Saturday is going to be pretty rough on me. I mean, I will suck it up, and I will go and do things that still have to be done because they were set, and even if it's a family thing, I will muscle it up. I may not be the most chipper person in the world, but I will certainly still do the best I can to make the best out of things, and not be a issue, with those that are around me or whatever I have to do. But yeah, so I mean, uh, it could take a toll on us, on a lot of things, and like doing events, whether it's not so much like the speaking. Like I don't get tired from speaking, obviously, because I can talk for a whole hour and it's no problem. But um doing like doing an event to where you're doing readings at your table, whether it's at a paranormal convention or at a holistic event or spiritual or metaphysical fair, you know those are usually rapid, that there's just so many people are coming in and out, and you're dealing with so many different types of energies. And it's amazing that a lot of us can sometimes walk out of those events on 2 feet, uh because you do. I mean, it's you're getting tired when you're getting towards the end of the event, and then all of a sudden when the event's over, you're like, oh man, now I got to pack up. So you got to do a little bit of folding up and putting things away, and then you got to load your vehicle, and then depending on where it is, you got to drive home. So if it's not short, then you really got to hike. Hey Candace, good morning. um, and so I just those are crazy events, and even then, just a good sleep after one of those events, I'm pretty good. I usually don't have a hangover from one of those. So, oh, thanks, Candace. And I know it's like 1 minute left in the show, but I appreciate that. um, but yeah, so there it is, 10:30 on the nose then. So I am going to wrap this up, and we're gonna get on with our Saturday. My day is just beginning, and I have I have things going on that I didn't know about until yesterday. So I didn't know what to expect, and now there's things that are going on, so I'm going to be busy for the rest of the day. So, well, thanks, Candace. I appreciate it. Appreciate anybody that watches it back or at least listens to the podcast form of it. Uh, but yes, I'm going to be busy once I get off air and pack up everything. And I got a busy day in front of me with family, and that'll be cool. Gonna, it's always a good time. And uh, other than that, so to kind of wrap this up, I mean, I'm going to take an extra minute or two here, but truly, truly, thank you to each and every single one of you that have watched us at some point, whether it's live, whether it was on playback, or in the podcast area. It's been great. It's been a fun year. Literally, it's been a year, and I can't thank you enough of you. I mean, I've obviously met a lot more people, this way, and hopefully, you've been able to gain some knowledge or learn a few things or helped you out in situations and made you laugh. That's obviously a big thing for me. If I'm not making you at least smile, I'm doing something wrong, because I I gotta at least gotta get that energy up with you. I don't like too many people being down and out, or depressed. So, if I'm not making enough facial expressions or saying something hilarious, um, you uh you know we need to talk further. So um but yeah, sincerely, sincerely, thank you so much. It is absolutely awesome. I'm glad this type of show worked out. And like I said, whether it was just one of you hanging out and it was just the two of us chatting, I'd still be okay with it. I mean, I still enjoy this a ton. It's been a great year, and come a long way. And so we're going to keep pushing through. And so thank you. We will not be on next week. Just remember that. I will post that even when I'm on set. I will post that. It will not be happening Saturday. Thank you all for the great comments. I'm seeing everybody pop up there. Thank you, Charity, Dennis, Janet, Debbie, Margaret, Nicole. It's like I said, it's just awesome to see you all, and glad you guys can check it out. I mean, I I don't demand or ask much. And so, just having you guys hang out even for a few minutes is still an honor and blessing. And I feel it. And thank you. Um, so we're going to do that. We're going to take a week off. So you guys enjoy yourselves. And if you get bored, you can always go to my channel and rewatch a show. You can always do that. Hey, Julie. And so you can, if you really miss me that much, you can go back and watch an old show or something like that. There's some good ones out there. And other than that, yeah, so we will hey, Dinah, I'm out of here. I know Julie's jumping in. Dinah, I'm sorry, I'm leaving because this is I got to get going. I have a busy day ahead of me. And so you guys, hopefully you guys can kind of watch back from the beginning and stuff, and check that out. So I know you guys have been regulars. I've seen Julie here and there, and I've seen Dinah here and there. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here and stuff. And so, yes. All right. I'm done babbling. I've said my piece. I've said too much. I've now babbling and just mumbling and stuff, and that's getting horrible. It's a terrible way to end it. So, but so yes, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me on these Saturday shows. And it's just been a thrill and fun for me to get to hang out and just kind of talk whatever's on our minds and answer any questions that you have and hit some topics that are, kind of up, that are current and things that are on our minds. So we will keep doing it. With that said, it is it is Debbie. But anyway, so thanks again. You guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium, and I will see you again in 2 weeks as we begin season 2. So you have a wonderful day, a great weekend. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. And again, I will see you in a couple weeks. Take care.